What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, a little bit later than normal, Lions Talk Live Morning Show edition. Sorry I couldn't have the live show up this morning. I woke up, tried to get things going, just without going into all of it, a lot of computer issues. I had to rip the motherboard out. I had to try to do this, that, and the other thing. Eventually, I just had to pull the actual battery within the computer behind the motherboard out, fix that, get it back up and in, try to do some work, and then try to make some time for the show. So this won't be a full hour. Sorry about that. We'll have that back up and running in the morning. But, man, I've got things all over the place here. Well, as you can tell from the thumbnail, though, talking about Lions stuff, not computer stuff, Lions had a little bit of good news today, both from the MCDC presser and then also from different people watching it live at the field. You know what? This team might just be a whole lot deeper than we anticipated. You heard MCDC talk about Sailors running back, came in on like 10 seconds worth of practice and made a lot of headway. There are some of those watching that are starting to wonder, could he push out maybe somebody from the top four of this Lions? I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Baki's going to be threatened just because of his draft status a year ago, although obviously I've been wrong before. Craig Reynolds, I think he's just too steady Eddie, but could it force the Lions into a situation where they keep 5 running backs? Would anybody be sad about that? I like the kid. I think he's got a lot of upside. It's just whether or not you can fit him into the 53-man roster. One of the people I'm hearing from multiple different people, and yes, DC did talk about it in the press conference, is Alaquin Muhammad. He's been all over place in practice when available. He has battled through a few little injuries, but when he's been on the field, this guy's been a monster. We've been speculating all offseason, why don't the Lions go sign this guy, that guy, draft this person, trade up for that person? It could be simply that the Lions coaching staff feels when they look at their roster with Aiden Hutchinson healthy, with Marcus Davenport, if he is healthy, and he did a great job yesterday, everybody seemed to have that report. So kudos, praise, thoughts to Marcus Davenport. But Alaquin Muhammad, Nate Lynn, these guys are getting after the quarterback. They're adding a lot of pass rush to it. And we talked about it in the update around noon or so yesterday after training camp or the joint practices with all the fights, that, the Lions pass rush just looks that good. I think the more we hear that, it's going to beg the question, do the Lions need to add anybody else, a Judon, a Smith, or whoever else? Most of you probably already saw the update yesterday, but we're talking about Alaquin Muhammad being a rising star. It sounds like DC's really a favor of having him on the field. If you remember last year, MCDC did talk at length how much he improved during his stay with the Lions. Lions seem ready to reward him with more snaps, more reps, get after it. If he really holds up, then you start looking at rotation for the Detroit Lions defense, and it starts looking pretty dang deep with, Alaquin Muhammad, with Ahmed Hassanin, with, Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, and anybody else, Nate Lynn, that you want to throw in there. You start getting 5, 6, 7 people deep. That's a heck of a rotation. Broderick Martin, I know some of you are asking about it. I asked everybody about it. Hey, did he continue the upward trend that we saw in the Falcons preseason game? The simple answer is yes. He does seem like he's trending up. We're going to all want to see that in the next preseason game, see where it goes from there. But if he also is improving, if also earns one of those spots, I do think the Lions will probably keep 4, maybe 5 interior defensive tackles. But if he warrants that kind of consideration, you got a huge athletic guy that's mammoth, strong, everything else, just needed more technique. Lions defensive line might just be one of the deepest units in the NFL. A weakness a year ago, we get it because of the injuries, might be one of the best in the league. Yeah, for those who don't know, I did report on it yesterday. Then you got, I'm sure other people reported on it as well. There are a lot of fights in practice. Sounds like yesterday's practice ended with a fight as well. Simply put, it's not really a surprising breakout to say that Amon-Ra St. Brown may just be the best receiver in the NFL. And I don't want to say he's in the top 5 order. He may just simply be the best out there. Nobody was guarding him. If you watched any of the Detroit Lions released videos yesterday, you saw just how deadly he is. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on him because I think we all have overly high expectations, as it should be, and justified, because you know what? He's done nothing but own in his time during the NFL. But it brings up a great debate. We talked about it on the show. We talk about it. It seems like every practice. Isaac Tesla, how good is this guy going to be? You can see, to me, somebody who's coached for a gajillion years, here's what I'd say. When a coach gets asked a question, how do they respond? You can see MCDC trying to hold back the smile, trying to talk it down. He hasn't even played in a real game yet. But I think from all corroborating information out there, when he was drafted, I said give him about half the season. He's probably going to be the number 3 wide receiver for the Detroit Lions. I think we might have to revisit that and say maybe after the first couple of games, who knows, maybe even game number 1, he's been that impressive out there. One of the person I didn't want to talk about, I thought when we watched the Falcons game, he looked real good. And same with the Hall of Fame game. And that's Zach Cunningham, the linebacker the Lions added. Some speculated they added him just kind of over leverage or just kind of security deposit, I guess you could almost say, with what was going on with Alex Anzalone at the time. But you know what? Cunningham didn't get that note. He's pushing for a starting spot. He's playing that well in camp. You heard MCDC in the presser talk about it a lot, that this coaching staff clearly has a lot of confidence in Zach Cunningham, and they should. He's been an outstanding NFL player during his time in the National Football League. What do the Lions do if all of a sudden you look at your defense and say, man, 4 of our best players are linebackers? Does that force you to switch the defensive normal formation? I think that's an intriguing argument. And I can only speak for myself as a coach. I'm always going to go with one thing. I'm going to put the best players out there. I don't care about your position for the most part. And if he really is one of the top 11, how do you keep him off the field, especially for any kind of length of time? I get it's become a secondary-based league along with a stout front 7, but I do think maybe the Lions are going to have to look into that if he continues that trend upwards. MCDC also did talk about the rookies to a certain degree. Ratledge's name came up. I want to say it was Dave Burkett who brought it up, but same thing you heard from MCDC's lips, same stuff we heard yesterday. Him next to Penei Sewell looks like an absolute win for this team. Christian Mahogany, no surprises there. While it was limited information on him last year, limited snaps, he continues that trend. He's looking great. And then Ratledge, man, he's, from the video I'm able to watch, from the reports I'm getting from people at training camp, and then MCDC kind of cooperated too, he turns those hips pretty dang well. It's hard to get around him. You watch the footwork and how he maintains leverage while, controlling or aiming, steering, I guess you'd say, the defender. I think he's going to be a big win. That brings up a lot of interesting questions. What do you do with some of the other backups out there? Because if this guy's already that good, the Lions might be able to slide with just, I think they're going to keep 10 offensive linemen, but I could see where they do it with just 9. Either way, it's looking like more and more the top several Detroit Lions draft picks, whether you want to say Williams, Ratledge, Tesla, they're all looking like home runs. And I know draft day, a lot of people kind of frowned and weren't happy when we took Williams. Same with Ratledge. And then, yes, you guys probably know there are a lot of YouTube creators, as well as people within the media that thought we were absolutely crazy for giving up all those draft picks for Tesla. Well, once again, Brad Holmes is showing he may be smarter than all of us on the other side of the camera. What are your thoughts, though, Duke Crew, watching this group, hearing MCDC, and seeing the mass destruction and beatdown we put down on the Miami Dolphins yesterday? The early reports today was a little bit more competitive, but same stuff all the same. Lions defense is looking pretty dang good. It's hard for Miami to do much on it. The other part of it is that Detroit Lions offense, we might have certain thoughts based on 2 preseason games, but apparently the Detroit Lions offense doesn't care about preseason games because they're coming out there owning the moments in real games. All right, again, I got to get back to work, so let me real quick get over to the Duke Crew comment section. Again, if you showed up this morning, I did put a post out, I want to say about 6:20 a.m. that was having computer problems. That was the best I could do while trying to figure out the computer problem, and that did take a lot of time. It's not often you rip open an entire tower, remove all the different chips and everything else to try to get to the what do I call it, battery, and thankfully that ended up being the case. All right, Uncle Buzz, number one, sleeping in today. I wish I did, man. I could have probably used it. Coach, Dale, Coach, glad everything is okay, buddy. 100%, my friend. Yeah, technology, sometimes there's a lot of good with it. Sometimes there's some bad. Dean, late to the party today, Coach, 100%, and I'm glad I could make it at least somewhat. Just greetings, salutations. MCDC called out a few guys that I agree are impressing. Yeah, and we've all talked just for a while that this team's going to be pretty deep. Well, you know what? It's looking like more and more it's going to be real deep. Kalamazoo Strong, any word on Laporta? Question mark. Heard he didn't go today. Yeah, MCDC talked about the presser. Just said, basically it was a tweak, nothing serious. He might be out a couple days. Terrion Arnold, I know a lot of you guys keep asking about it. I think they're keeping him out all week. He'll probably resume maybe mid next week, get the final preseason week worth of reps in, but that's about it. They're going to make sure he's A-okay to go week 1 of the regular season. Cynthia, okay, exclamation point. Here we go. Good morning, everyone. Back at you. Good to see you, as always, in the chat. Doug, get the computer figured out, Coach? I did. It took a hot minute, and thankfully, Jen's son is a little bit more savvy with some of the stuff than I am. He had some great ideas. So did some of the neighbors and everything else. It was really a community effort trying to get that thing fixed. France, DC, had a lot of good praise for Rat. Yes, he did. I thought he talked real openly. And I get most coaches want to downplay stuff, kind of keep it to the vest, don't want to overhype anybody. But I think when you see him talk about the Williams, the Ratledge, Tesla, Ahmed Hassan, a bunch of them, you can see he's holding back, but yet some of it is shining through his thoughts on the guys. Just practice for today is done. It might be, probably got a little bit more in it. I want to say it started at 10:30 today. That sounds about right. Don't hold me to that, though. I was busy with the computer. Cynthia, Kalamazoo, MCDC just said Laporta out, nothing serious. 100% with that. Dawn, didn't see the morning show. Was there one? I couldn't locate it. No, there was not one today. It'll be back up in the morning. They'll need Sam healthy. I agree with that. Glad it's minor and should be okay to go soon. Yes, indeed. Tori, Laporta will be fine. I concur. Bo, woo, Duke Crew, exclamation point. MCDC presser was fun, as always. He puts on a good presser. Cliff, my drive to work was not the same this morning. Sorry about that, man. Again, computer issues. I'm just glad I could figure it out. I was about ready to chuck the thing out the window. So my morning felt off without the show. Well, I got good news. The show will be back up in the morning. Jessica, woo, and same to you. Bo got the computer glitch fixed, Coach. I hope so, man. It's up and running, at least at the moment. Malt, what's up, Coach? What's up, Walt? How you doing today? Lauren, I'm glad I'm not the only person not thrown off by the No Lions Talk Live at 7 a.m. Yeah, man, I know it felt weird to me because I was like, man, what do I do other than trying to fix the computer? Coach Rock, good morning. All just glad you're on now. Hey, made it better late than never, right? Patrick, how about that? I thought I had missed it because I've been sleeping late. Hey, sometimes we all got to sleep in. Bo, I couldn't follow the tech talk about your problem, but it was interesting. Hey, me too, man. I needed somebody to walk me through it. Church, greetings, salutations. Good news is great. Great LE. I'll go with that. All the above. Anymore. Good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. What a team. What a late podcast. Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! All the above. And thank you, as always, Henry. Church, good news is great. Let's go, Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Big D, where did we get Lynn from? I forget. I think he was a free agent, undrafted free agent, if I'm not mistaken, Big D. But you know what? For those who don't remember, this offseason, he was invited to Sac U, and it sounds like that's paid some dividends for the young man. We all knew he was athletic, had some bursts, had some get off the line and everything, but he needed more technique. It sounds like he's putting in a lot of work this offseason to try and prove that. And if you watch the preseason games, I'm not going to say he's going to be a starter or anything like that, but that's sound depth to bring in and athleticism. Walt, glad you got the computer up and working. So far, it's staying that way. Kerry, howdy, Coach. Glad you could make it. Hey, glad you could make it too. Lionel, my 53-man roster is monster. It is nuts, but true. No new boys. I'm down with that. Lionel, sometimes I have a BM. All right. Let's see, Dale, encouraging news on Bro Mart. Oh, woo! Exclamation point. Yeah, I think it would be fair to say at this point, at least in my opinion, you can have your own. He's probably 50-50. Maybe you could say a 60-40% chance he makes it. But the fact he's now in the conversation shows he has grown, where at the start of training camp, I think everybody would have said, man, it's probably 80% chance he he's out of here. And now it's at least 50-50, like I said, maybe 60-40 he's going to make it. Again, hard to feel great about development up and down the roster, getting pretty geeked about our chances. Oh, yeah, hard not to feel good about the development. Yeah, I agree. The coaching, we all get it. These guys specialize. Most of them are former players, specialize in developing the players that we have, the guys that they've been given to work with, and they do a great job with it. Well, the upward trend is your friend. I like the way you are thinking. Rock, my team is starting to get over the soreness now, and it's just about scrimmage time for them, and that's just what they need. Think they're tired of looking at each other across the lines. Yeah, 100%. And that's probably why you're seeing some of the chippiness like we see almost every preseason with the Lions and whoever they're going after. Lions are physical. And I get that doesn't always work for the other team. And that's also why I thought going in, man, Miami's going to have to flip some switches, although they're going to get run over. But to be fair, that is also what the Miami Dolphins coach came out. I want to say yesterday after practice, I didn't pay a ton of attention to it, but I did catch it. And he said, hey, I wanted to have joint practice with the Lions for this very reason. He knew that they have some weaknesses, and kudos to him for a coach for saying, I need to address those weaknesses. Anymore, I watched some video on the practice. Oh my gosh, they are amazing. 100%. Yeah, and then the Lions passing attack really exposed a ton of stuff with Miami. And it's early. Coaches fix things. I mean, that's why you do preseason stuff or scrimmages. But yeah, the Lions passing attack and the offensive line, more importantly, look real good. Boat Ronnie Bell has been looking good. He has. I know MCDC was asked about him. I thought the preseason game, you watch him get on the cuts. I thought he did a great job. His location of the ball with his hands, I thought was real good too. It's just going to be the big problem for most of these guys, especially the wide receiver room. There's so much talent there. Not everybody's going to make it. I mean, you can't keep 10 wide receivers, can you? Maybe if some of them can play cornerback, maybe you could. Lionel, smoke on the water still up here, up in the UP. There you go. And yeah, I know the fires and stuff like that, the smoke from them. Hopefully you guys are getting through it. Tom, what do you got? The Lions haven't had a 1, 2, 3 wide receiver. They'll just have the best receivers in the NFL, period. Full stop. I'll take that. Yeah, I think if they keep 5, if they keep 6, they're going to have talent across the board. You go to that bench, the next guy up can play. Don, Miles Frazier needs to get healthy. He does, man. I don't know the full thing going on with that knee, Donnie, but I know he had some sort of procedure on it. He's healing up. It sounds like, according to the team, it's going to be either right before the regular season or right after the start of the regular season that he returns, and then he's going to have to play catch-up, but he can do it. Think about Christian Mahogany a year ago. I want to say, he missed the first 3 or 4 weeks of the regular season before getting in there, and then he was a monster. But that was because of, I forget the name of the ailment that he had, mono, I think it was. But, quote, what are you going to do? What are you doing over there? Question mark. Was the funniest thing I ever heard MCDC say at a press conference. Yeah, you could tell he's gotten a lot more comfortable in the pressers since he started. Cynthia Bo Booth, that was funny. Exclamation point, I'm down with that. Byron, long time no see. Dan the Duke Crew, it has been a hot second. How you been, man? Welcome back to the chat. Glad to see you here, my friend. Pierce Domberg, yes, we need Frazier. I like the way you're thinking. Lionel, how the heck did that just pass? We'll find out. I don't know. Let's see. Jennifer, 7 a.m. start at work wasn't the same. Well, hopefully we get you all right and ready tomorrow morning. We'll be back on the air at that time, unless something else happens to the computer. Eesh. JDC, morning all. Same to you. Black J.R. Jones, grit, baby, grit. You got to love the grit. JDC, born and bred to rip and shred. Go Lions. Exclamation point. Back at you. Mary Smith, glad you got your stream up and running. Yeah, man. I mean, it was some meatball surgery, getting out everything, trying to figure things out, YouTubing stuff, how to fix that and the other thing. Man, I had to bring over a TV to see if it was that cord, this cord, or whatever. But yeah, after a few hours, finally got it up and running, and then I had to get to work. All right, guys, if there's some breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, if you would be so kind before you check out, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. Take care, do something kind for somebody you don't know, and we'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. See you all later.
Excuse me, sir, would you... Donations to the Reverend Moon? Jews for Jesus?
Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism?
Help Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology?
Or nuclear power?